let me.
Since Emily's the narrator, you introduce everybody.
Okay, so my name's Emily. I'll be narrating. And then we have Tanner, who is voicing Tanner. And then we have Nick, who is voicing Matthew. Okay, so here we go. It was a Tuesday afternoon. Tanner was bored out of his mind, doing absolutely nothing. So he decided to walk into Colby's room. Tanner walks in and notices that Matthew is working on a drawing. Hey, Matthew, what are you doing? Oh, wait, fuck.
Keep
Hey,
going.
Matthew, what are you doing?
Nothing, idiot.
So Tanner walks up and takes the drawing from Matthew. The drawing depicts Matthew in a missionary position, getting slammed by Tanner's dick, balls deep into Matthew's boy pussy. Tanner begins to blush. Tanner begins to blush heavily, shocked to see such graphic imagery drawn by one of his closest friends. Matthew gasps in utter shock that Tanner would do such a thing to him. How dare Tanner disrespect him so outrageously? Matthew then notices a bulge starting to rise in Tanner's pants. Matthew begins to sweat, getting somewhat nervous. Nick.
Tanner.
Oh, Tanner.
It's Nick. That's Nick.
Oh, it is Nick.
Hey, brother, what's going on in your pants?
Tanner looks down to see his now raging. Tanner looks down to see his now raging hard-on has taken place in his pants. Matthew interjects.
I think you should leave, brother.
Tanner rushes out of the room out of embarrassment. How can Matthew picture Tanner in such a way? Matthew knew that Tanner had... Matthew knew what had happened between him and Andy the past few months. Andy had recently cheated on Tanner with some guy named Wilbur. Andy had been tired of Tanner's T-Dog sausage. Tanner was angry and confused. Tanner thought Matthew was straight. How could Matthew be so pervasive of Tanner? Tanner was so fucking hard, though. He just couldn't help himself. He went straight to his room and started jacking up furiously at the thought of destroying Matthew's tight, squishy ass. It doesn't take long for Tanner to blow a massive load from his throbbing cock. Tanner normally takes a while to come, but the thought of Matthew made him come quick and hard. Matthew, on the other hand, was also turned on, but worried about what Tanner was thinking. He was thinking about how to approach Tanner after what had happened. He was worried that he had ruined his friendship with Tanner. Nothing scared Matthew more than the idea of losing his friend just because he couldn't control his purchase. Despite his throbbing erection, Matthew decided to apologize to Tanner as soon as possible. The next day, Matthew decides to come over to Leap House. Matthew knocks on the door and greets Colby. Hey, you tall... Oh, fuck.
Hey, you tall fucking idiot.
Oh, hi, Matthew.
Colby replies. Matthew then walks up the stairs towards Tanner's room, wondering if Tanner is still even angry at him. He knocks on Tanner's door. Tanner opens up and looks at Matthew with a blank stare.
Hey, idiot. That drawing was not us, so don't think.
Matthew is interrupted by Tanner's manly hand grabbing Matthew by the neck and picks him up. Matthew is squirming, but somewhat aroused by the fact that he is being choked by Tanner. Tanner had popped a rage boner when he saw when he saw Matthew, and was not going to give it easy to Matthew. Tanner then swings Matthew around and throws him onto the bed. Matthew is breathless after being manhandled by Tanner and is trying to regain his breath.
I'm going to. Oh wait, is that who says that?
That's Tanner.
Oh.
I'm gonna punish you for your you perverted fuck.
Matthew is shaking, still trying to collect himself after being thrown onto the bed. Tanner approaches Matthew menacingly, grabbing what seems to be handcuffs from under the bed.
Oh,
I'm gonna use you like a fuck.
Says Tanner. Matthew tries to get back up, but Tanner pushes him down once more. Matthew is powerless, but aroused, scared, but excited. Tanner flips Matthew over, putting Matthew into a position where he is bent over Tanner's bed. Matthew isn't sure what Tanner is going to do with him as he is handcuffed. Matthew had never had dick before, so this was a whole new experience to him.
Please, Tanner. Brother, don't do this.
Matthew says despite his hard-on saying otherwise. Tanner then forcefully pulls down Matthew's straight-cut jeans, exposing his 12-inch cock and his tight ass.
Too bad he won't be able to use that.
Says
Oh
Tanner.
my god.
Tanner, wanting to get a gauge on how tight this little twink is, inserts a finger into his tight ass. Matthew begins to moan profusely. Tanner slowly begins to make a back and forth motion, slowly loosening Matthew's tight ass. Matthew at this point feels like he's about to burst with Tanner just fingering him. But Tanner wasn't there just to finger Matthew. He was there to take all of his anger and frustration out on Matthew after what Matthew did to him yesterday, and was not going to give any mercy to Matthew's tight ass. Tanner then drops his joggers, revealing his veiny, thin cock. Tanner takes his dick and forcibly shoves it into Matthew's squishy ass. Matthew initially is screaming. He wasn't ready for this, and there was no lube. Thankfully, Tanner's finger had helped loosen his ass just a little, otherwise the pain would have been a bit worse. Tanner begins to thrust back and forth slowly, adjusting to Matthew's tight ass, taking in the tightness of Matthew's ass.
Brother, please take it out.
Please take
This is
it
when Tanner
out.
starts to
Take
This
it
just makes
out.
Tanner start to thrust at a much faster pace. Matthew's screams of pain start to turn into passionate moans as Tanner claps Matthew's cheeks. Matthew is squirming, trying to thrust back at Tanner's dick, wanting more and more. Matthew at this point is about to explode. Tanner won't let up as Tanner continues to thrust hard and make animalistic grunts. Matthew then explodes, moaning passionately as he shoots his load onto Tanner's
What the fuck, Matthew? You came on my fucking bed.
Tanner then pulls Matthew onto his knees and proceeds to skull fuck him. Fortunately for Matthew, he doesn't have a gag reflex. For Tanner, this is just another warm place to put his dick. Matthew is trying to maintain composure as he starts to drool and starts making a face of himself. He just wants Tanner to come. Tanner begins to feel a pressure build up in his cock. Tanner then pulls out and shoots his load onto Matthew, covering him in cum. Tanner uncuffs Matthew and says,
I'm done with you. Get the fuck out of my room.
and pushes him out. Tanner pushes Matthew out, not even letting Matthew grab his clothes. Matthew begs to be let back in, still naked and covered in cum.
Brother, I feel so used and abused. Please at least let me get my clothes, brother.
Tanner doesn't reply and blocks Matthew out. Matthew realizes that Tanner isn't going to reply and has to walk back home naked and covered.
Oh
And
my
chapter 1.
god.